Good morning. Welcome back to Sheldon's Gardening Tips, your complete DIY guide for everything lawn and garden care. Now, today I'm going to be pruning this section of my Bougainvillea plants. Now, pruning basically means cutting back or trimming back a portion of the plant to allow it to grow healthier, grow better, or to shape it out how you desire to have it. Pruning will also help to promote new growth as well as new blooms. Now, the only tool I'll be using is this small trimming shear. I'll also be using this bucket to put the cuttings. So there are quite a few benefits to pruning your flowers. So when you prune, you will cause the plant to grow healthier. So when you remove those dead old branches, that helps to promote new growth, which is healthier for the plant. Now, pruning also helps to improve circulation. So by thinning out the plant, by removing some of the foliage, basically you are allowing for better air circulation through the plants. And this will help to prevent things like diseases. So pruning also helps to enhance or improve the amount of blooms. And as you know, pruning is necessary for shaping and sizing of the plant. Now, the best way to prune your bougainvillea plant is basically to use a small trimmer like this. You're going to cut them individually. So you should never be cutting the leaves of the plant at any point in time. So you should be cutting the stems. So it's basically hold the stems and then cut back a few inches. Now, don't be bothered about cutting the branches that have the blooms, because wherever you cut, there will be at least 2 new branches that will come out from those areas, and those will maybe double or even triple the amount of blooms that you had before pruning. So never be afraid to cut back even the branches that have blooms. Also, by pruning the plants the way I'm doing it and then bagging the clippings at the same time, it makes your job a lot easier. So at the end of the day, when you're finished pruning, the cuttings are already bagged. So that saves you all of that problem. Now, it's important to prune bougainvillea plants regularly in exactly the same way that I am doing it. Because if they are allowed to grow and get out of control, they have a lot of thorns which can be really, really dangerous. Also, if you notice, my bougainvillea, it grows all the way down to the ground. Now, I was able to accomplish this because I pruned the plants exactly the way I am doing it. Now, if I wasn't pruning it this way, as you can see, these plants are over 6 feet tall. So normally bougainvilleas would grow very tall, and then there would be lots of sticks at the bottom and then the flowers at the top. Now this has flowers all the way down to the ground, and that was accomplished as a result of my pruning method. So you're basically just holding individual branches and then cutting them. Right. Now it's important that the tool you're using is sharp, because you don't want to be dragging the plant. You want a very clean cut. Now if you notice, there's hardly any thorn. Well, there are thorns, but they are very small. These won't harm you. And that's because I prune regularly. Now, if you ever allow Bougainvillea to go out of control, then when it comes to pruning it, it will be a real problem. Now, in terms of care of Bougainvillea, one might look at these Bougainvillea plants doing so well, and figure that maybe I give these a lot of water and a lot of fertilizer. These plants have not been watered. Well, apart from when it rains, they have not been watered in years. So these were planted 3 years ago. And when they were planted, I used to water them quite frequently. However, within the last 2 years or so, I've not watered it even during periods of prolonged drought. I've just not watered. Neither have I fertilized. Now I find that when bougainvilleas are treated, well, how do I put this now? When they are not given lots of water and lots of fertilizer, they tend to do better. That's just my experience. As to the science behind it, I really have not yet researched it. But I know whenever it's raining, the plants don't bloom at all. Don't know if it has to do with the rain beating off the blooms, I don't know. But they tend to bloom more when there's lots of sun. And I just find that they do better in the warmer months, in the drier months of the year. That's when they flower most. So bougainvilleas can serve a lot of different functions. You can have them as privacy screen, which this is some sort of a privacy screen. You can have them in pots. You can have them even indoors. But those might require special attention. But I find that bougainvillea, they don't do well in shaded areas. If they are planted in shaded areas, they might just not grow. I have some bougainvilleas that were planted in a shaded area for about a year or a year and a half, and they would just not grow. And I remove them and put them in full sun, and within a few months they were so tall and beautiful. It was really unbelievable that those were the same bougainvilleas that were planted for years and weren't flourishing. So my advice to you would be to plant your bougainvillea in full sun, and once they are established, well, I don't water mine at all. So there was one point we had maybe 5-6 months of drought, and not even once did I water bougainvilleas, and they remained green and beautiful. Also, the roots of these plants, they go quite deep, so they will find water that is below the surface of the earth anyway. So these plants are very drought resistant because their roots go quite deep. I know bougainvilleas do suffer from some kinds of diseases, and I've seen people spraying pesticides from time to time. Thankfully, I have not had to spray anything on these thus far, and fingers crossed I will never have to do it. So at the moment, the only maintenance I do to these bougainvillea is pruning, nothing else. No fertilizing, no watering, no spraying, only prune. I try to prune well. It depends. When it's raining, they go quite fast, so they require more frequent pruning. Now we have not had rains in a few weeks, so they haven't grown quite as fast. I thus have not had to prune them so regularly these days. So that's the final result. So the job is all done. All the cuttings have been picked up. So no need for me to go and pick up clippings again. So by using that small, tiny shear to trim the plants, it actually makes my job a lot easier. Some might doubt it, but I've proven it over and over. Makes the job go faster. and more efficient as well, I would say. So there you have it, the prune of my, well, a section of my Bougainvillea plants. I actually have more Bougainvillea around the place. So I hope you have learned something as it relates to how to prune the plants, and you will get similar kind of results. Now, the warm, well, the dry season seemed to have started, so within the next few weeks, I expect to see even more blooms than I have at the moment. And as I said, no water, no fertilizer, but you can still get good results. As to the science behind it, I need to do the research. So whenever I find out the reason for that, I will bring back the results. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.